Well, hey there, HVAC pros and enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The HVACR Learning Network has just launched an exciting new e-learning course, High Performance Heat Pumps. And guess what? We're giving you free access to the first 2 chapters. Whether you're in the field, training for that next step, or simply want to sharpen your expertise, this course is packed with everything you need to understand and master high-performance heat pump systems, especially inverter-driven cold climate heat pumps. And the best part? You can access it anytime, anywhere, right from your favorite mobile device. It's HVACR learning made flexible and convenient for you. So what are you waiting for? Click the link. Dive into the HVACR Learning Network and start your free trial today. Your journey to HVACR mastery begins here. Well, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining us once again on Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show. I'm so grateful for this community. It just absolutely astounds me the way that we continue to grow and we keep giving all of this encouragement and all of these tools for you to be successful in your career, especially as educators. We're actually going to be growing in a very short period of time. We've gotten to that point where we've done a lot of training, we've done a lot of discussions, and we're actually going to be moving into a larger studio. I mean, this has served me well, but this is actually in my own home. It's a separate area of the home that we set up as a studio. It's really done well, but it's time for us to grow. So we're actually going to be investing in a mobile studio. And we're going to be traveling around the country to different places, doing behind the scenes videos. Hopefully you've been seeing some of these behind the scenes videos that we've been doing. And we're going to be spending more time out in the industry, showing you all the amazing things that are happening in the background that you may not see on an everyday basis. And so in doing that, we've actually partnered with a company named Godfrey. They're a public relations and management company, and they're also a video production group. So if you've been seeing some of these high quality videos like the one we did at Johnson Controls, JDEC, I'll put that in the descriptions at the end of the video. We're starting to do some very, very cool things, and you're coming along with us, right? So we're going to take this show on the road. I'll be using the studio for every week for our live productions just like this. So I'll either be in the new studio or I will be in this one. I'll be back and forth, but we're going to try to spend a lot of time in the new studio. We're going to be introducing hands-on equipment. So we're going to have modulating gas furnaces. We're going to have inverter heat pumps, communicating systems. We're going to bring you hands-on education on all these things that we keep doing training for so that we can just get a better grasp of this and we can just step it up to the next level and continue to grow. By the way, we are growing like crazy. So we're up to 123 countries from this live show and the videos that we've been doing, and 109 countries for the podcast. Isn't that insane? So we're going to step it up and we're going to bring you some even better content than we have been doing already. So what we're here today for is we're here to provide you the resources to be successful. That's been our goal since day one. Part of that is creating your own content. So we've actually been getting some requests of how do we create this content? Do we have our own crew? What are we doing? And up to this point, no, it's been pretty much whoever you're watching, it's been a one-man show or one-woman show. So we create all of our own content. And so I wanted to share with you what I have been using because it's very, very accessible to you as an educator or even a contractor that's creating content for your own technicians. This is it, right? This is going to be your introduction into how to create your own content. We get time, we'll actually dive into some video editing and talk about, how we actually build those videos. But right now, we're going to walk through what I use for equipment because it's probably going to surprise you. All right. So is it like tens of thousands of dollars of equipment? No, it's actually, it's very inexpensive stuff, which is why I want to show you. Now we've used a lot of different equipment along the way. Some has worked well, some has not. And that's what we want to share with you, the things that we have found that work very well for doing inexpensive video recording to create into training modules or videos or even social media, the way that you can make premium ones. Because you can do a premium job. Like part of what inspired me to do this style of mobile videos that I've been doing is I watched this movie. right? It was an iPhone 11 cinematic 4K movie created entirely from an iPhone 11. This is a couple years ago. So I started using iPhone. I was started out as Android, went to iPhone when I watched this, and now I'm back on Android. So some of this content will be iPhone related, some of it will be Android related, but it's all the same when it comes to what we're doing. And it's about making sure that we're putting the right settings in our phone when we're doing these recordings. Because a lot of phones, I would say almost all smartphones, come in a mode like if you're used to being in a modern vehicle that's got the different modes, right? Most of our smartphones are actually going to come in a mode that is more like eco or smart. It's designed to be more efficient and to have more space, right? So you can put more stuff in it. So to do professional quality content off from our modern smartphones, we got to make some changes to the settings. Most importantly is changing the resolutions and seeing that we have it set for the right frame rates. So I particularly like to use 4K, and I like to use the 24 frame rate because that is what many of the movies that we watch on TV are filmed in. They're filmed in 4K at 24 frame rate. So it's a matter of going into the settings of our phone and making these changes. So like on that iPhone, it's simply a matter of going through into your camera settings, going into the video record. This particular one, and this is a demo one that I found online, but it was for the same iPhone I had when I put this presentation together. And then I'm going to change that over to whichever one I want. 4K at 24. I could do 4K at 60. It's faster, but the 24 seems to be the smoothest that I have found. And then I'm going to set my capture up. A lot of times I'll use the high efficiency, so it's getting very good capture. So once we make those changes in our smartphone, it becomes a completely different device. And that's all that you do. Now, you can get apps that can help make this possible along the way, but for the most part, it's just simply a matter of making the changes yourself, picking for the camera, what photographic style you like. I typically go with standard, and I might warm it up a little bit. And then it's just a matter of getting used to changing the way we are using our phone. All smartphones have the ability to change your zooms, and you can change your brightness. You can make some on-screen prompts, and it's very important to do that. We can change the object that we're looking at so that we can change the focus to track that and focus on a certain level. And it's a matter of simply touching our screen, sliding our brightness, and getting it to the right point that we like. And you can do a lot with that. And so we're going to walk through some of the tools that I use for my smartphone, but literally almost everything that you've seen from me out in the field is done from my smartphone. And we're going to show you the tools that we use and how I actually use them along the way. So a gimbal is a very important one, right? So I keep a very inexpensive gimbal. And this is that one that's on the right. I keep them around because they're very inexpensive. I can set my phone in it and I can move and it will help stabilize things for me. So for the money, it's hard to beat a gimbal. We're going to go through a variety of different things here, believe me. So I'll set that one over to the side for a minute. And most of the stuff I can put into one backpack. So when I'm traveling, a lot besides some of my taller things like my big tripod, most of the stuff I can fit in my backpack and I can be completely mobile with it. Now, lighting is one of the most important things when we're using a smartphone. We've all seen these really cool videos done outdoors with smartphones, and it looks like they're using this professional camera. But then once we get inside, it's not quite the same, right? Okay. That's because most of our phones have a really, really good lens, but it needs a lot of illumination to be able to capture the most amount of pixels. So it's important to be able to add on a light to our recording. And it's super inexpensive. The one on the left, that's a rechargeable one. That's $15 on Amazon for that light. The setup on the right, that was actually $58 for that whole little setup. You're getting a stand, you're getting a light, you're getting a little extra microphone. There's a couple of them on Amazon that's in that price range. Now, we're going to talk about microphones, we're going to talk about stands. And everyone, let us know where you're joining in from. I'd really appreciate to know where you're at. If you have any questions along the way, let us know in the notes, and I'll see if I can't get to them. So we've got a bunch of stuff we're going to try to cover today. So the difference in using proper lighting is literally this simple. Okay, so this is the same shot sitting on the tripod with the smartphone using the camera only on the left with flash on versus on the right using that separate light. And I'm only using these little bitty 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch rechargeable lights that makes that much of a difference. Like, take a look at where that limit is. That main limit is right in the center of the screen. You can't even hardly see it on that left photo. And on the right one, simply by adding some extra lighting, it completely changed the way that shot is made. And so for a little bit of money, you can improve what you're already doing. I mean, look at the difference on that when I zoom in. So that was the same photo, just zoomed in. And by adding that extra light, we can clarify so much of the content. Like, you can't even read the residuo on the left, but on the right, it's as clear as day. So even if we have superb lighting in our classroom or in the area that we're recording, by adding that additional lighting, it will significantly improve. I mean, these are photos just taken with my phone with some extra light on them. But particularly the one on the left, right? When you look at that ECM, you notice that it's well illuminated. So one of the ways that I do that, if I'm creating my own photos that I'm going to be using in presentations, or I'm going to be layering in on a video, editing it in, I actually use a light box. And so you can buy a light box same way. I picked this up online. I think it was like $50 or so. And you can control the tone and you can control the brightness of it. So I can take my parts, I can bring them in, and I can get incredibly high definition photos. And all I'm actually doing is I'm setting my phone on top. A lot of times I'll use my tripod. I'll put my phone in the tripod and I'll set it right over the top of the box because it's got a little lid on top of it. And then I can shine down in, and it's an amazing quality of photo for not a lot of money. So most of the photos that you see online when you're looking, when you're searching for a particular part that you want to use, that's all that they've done is they put it inside of a light box and took a photo of it. And you can do the exact same thing. So we're going to talk about my rig. And I've been using this rig for at least 3 years now. And it is my go-to rig. It is just so handy to have. And so, no, that's not my phone. That's my wife's phone in the actual holder so that I can use my phone to take a picture of it. Okay. All right. So here's what we got. This, and some of you that have seen me out and about, you'll see this whole rig. And I've taken so many photos and videos with people going, wow, that's the coolest thing. How much did that cost you? And I'm like, just a few $100. Literally, just a few $100, under $500, including the wireless microphones. And so what you've got is a mobile rig that is multi-purpose. I can have my phone in it. I can have a GoPro because I do use a GoPro time to time, not very often, but I do have it as a secondary. I've got my rechargeable lights. I've got an onboard microphone, and I've also got my wireless microphones. And these come as pieces, and I'll put some links to what these individual pieces are in the description so that you can see what component it is individually. So let's talk about them, and let's talk about why I use this setup. All right, let's start with just the tripod. Okay. It's one of those parts that fits in my larger suitcase, doesn't fit in my carry-on. So it does take up a little bit more room. It's not horrible. But with a good tripod, we want to make sure that we're buying something that's going to last, something we're going to beat around. And I'm kind of a fan of the Neewer products, by the way. They just seem to hold up for the money. A lot of people go, man, that must be $300-400. And I'm like, no, I think I paid $60 for this thing. And it's got a head on it where even when I lock in my setup, I actually have the ability to control it and rotate this very smoothly to get rotational videos. Okay. And by using a setup that has a multi-purpose head like this, I can change between different devices. So even my entire rig that I use, it's in pieces. And so let's start there and I'll show you. Okay. So the base of it is actually this one here. Let me pull the other cameras up. Let me bring that in. And I may actually, let me go back. We'll get away from the presentation for a minute and I'll bring in this separate camera so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So with this one, this is the ZDO and it's just a standard light composite frame. It's got mounts on it, so I can put lights, microphone, whatever I want on it. It's got extra room. I put that saddle on there so that I can run my GoPro on the front if I want. And then I got a couple mounts, right, on the base just to be able to set the tripod. And that's just a quick release. The same style base that you would use on like a camera or whatever you want to put on a tripod. It's simply on that, okay? So I'll have that one. And then within that, I'm actually going to use a separate part. I'm gonna take these out here actually so you can see exactly what we got going on. All right, so I've got a mount on the side. Here, let me show you on there. Got a mount on the side, and then I've got these on top. This is a separate component. This is just a frame for holding your phone. Comes with that extra one. I'll show you in a second what I do with that one. All right, so I've got my actual frame. So when I'm using my smartphone is simply sitting in the frame, latched into place. That's all that it is, right? It's holding my phone in place so that I can make some equipment connections to it and I can get my lights and all, right? All right, so I'll set that aside just for a second. All right, so little Ulanzi, rechargeable, USB-C. You can change the lights on it, the actual colors, the intensity of the thing. And I'm telling you, they're incredible. Like the technology that we have today is just mind boggling. And I think these were like 20 some dollars a piece. All right. So I usually use 2 of those. I'll charge them up before I'm doing any type of a shoot. And I've just bought a USB-C, a Y connector so I can charge both of them at the same time. All right. So I've got my phone that can go in there, and check this out. All right. Wireless microphone. And Movo, I've been using these for years for the money. It's hard to beat them. I'll show you some better brands too, or some higher value, higher construction microphones and things that you can use. But I've been using these quite often because of the flexibility. And so for it and its other half for the lapel, I think it's somewhere around $100. But it's got another benefit to it, and I'll tell you about that here in just a second. All right, so instead of having this as a clip-on or a mount to anything, most of them come with your actual quarter 20 connections. So I actually attach mine onto the side of my rig so that it is part of it, right? So that I don't have to have it anywhere. It's ready to roll. Now, something that's important, and this is where a lot of people get stuck when they're trying to connect components to a smartphone. Many of our cords don't have the 3 separations. They've only got 2, which is your mic, left audio, right audio. Doesn't have the separate feed return. So there are times where we have to make an adaptation so that we have an adapter in between those. Let me show you the difference. Okay. This particular microphone, this is the one I'm going to put on top here in just a second. From the factory, see, I've only got the 2 separations. That's probably too much. Let me try this camera. Maybe. Yeah, not very easy. Anyhow, okay. You get the point, though. See where you've only got the 2 little black spacers in between it? So you got 3 shiny parts, 2 black ones, right? That is a TRS. And to be able to use it on a mobile device, we need a TRRS, which ends up having the 3 spacers in it. So you have 4 shiny parts, 3 spacers. So to get this particular microphone to work properly, let's get a better view here. Let's go over to one like this. We'll put this over here. So to get this particular microphone with the 2 insulators over to one that has 3 insulators, I simply need to use a TRS to TRRS adapter. Now, this thing is ready to be used in a camera. It could be ready to use in a smart device, because then I just have to get it to my smart device. So smartphone's a USB-C, so I have a TRRS to USB-C. I know it seems like a lot of stuff, but it gets us where we need in a small footprint, okay? Some of the cords that we get already have the TRRS on it, and then all we have to do is be able to use our TRRS to USB-C adapter, and now this wireless mic works directly in my phone. Okay? Following? All right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show you how we do that. So I tend to have this microphone and this base put together at the same time as a backup, as much as anything. They're really good. They have a nice focal point. So these are typically called shotgun microphones. And with a shotgun microphone, it's actually a tube. So when you take the foam off, it's actually a tube. So that it's trying to focus so that I'm recording right where it's pointed to. Great when you're in a crowd, but sometimes it's too much noise. And so I'll keep it mounted in case I have any problems with my wireless. And then if I have problems with my wireless, I can go ahead and turn on my permanent one. And some of these are powered, some of them are not. I like the powered ones. They have a little bit more gain to them. So I'm going to leave that on there as we're setting this up, because we're going to do some different demonstrations so I can show you how to actually use this thing and some of the other benefits of it. So what I got to do here, though, remember I've got remember that mount that I was telling you about, right? I've still got that I got to do something with. And so what I'm actually going to do is, let me take this back off for a sec, because we're going to replace this onto the other mount. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do it from back here first. I'm going to insert this over. And now, look at that. All it did was use that piece and that piece, slide them into position, and now I have a very stable mount. And that extra screw that I use, where'd that go? That one. That extra screw that I had sitting up there, that is to go through and thread in to the bottom of that upper mount to keep it nice and snug. So it's connected from there right into that platform. So what I end up with is a very, very solid recording apparatus with a wireless mic, 2 lights. I can add on my additional backup microphone, and that's it, right? Got the entire rig. Let me throw that on the big screen so you can see that too. So I end up with, in that process, that rig. So I've got this component that goes together. I've got my wireless mic, I've got my stationary mic, and I have 2 lamps. All right, so the only thing we have left now is to be able to connect our phone onto this thing. So let's go back up here. Let me switch modes and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take my phone. I've got a lens cover on this one. So I'm going to open up my lens cover and I'm going to get that stationed in and I'm going to get it secured. Now, which mic do we want to use on our smartphone? Let's go ahead and use this wireless one, okay? All I'm doing is I'm connecting my wireless receiver into my smartphone, and it'll automatically pick this thing up. And so now I will be using a wireless mic set on my phone. And so when I go into my cameras now, oh, get caught in there. When I go into my camera mode, it's going to be ready to roll for me. And so I now am recording. Well, I'm not recording right now, but I very easily will be ready to record with my phone with additional lights so that I can brighten things up wherever I'm recording. I've got a portable base. I can take this into crawl spaces. I can take this thing into attics, and I can record some amazing content holding it by hand. Or I can actually set it on the tripod, or I can even set it on a trolley and actually move the thing around. All right, we can go one step further than that, okay? Ready for this? So, with technology, it's all about being mobile and being easy to maneuver, right? Making sure that it's a convenient recording, making sure that what we're doing is going to be very compact, very affordable, easy to work with. So let's take our tripod and we'll set this up real quick because I think you'll really enjoy this. So when I'm using my tripod, I typically leave that mount connected to it at all times because these are aluminum tripods. They don't weigh a whole lot anyhow. And you ask, well, how do you get all of those photos of you in front of people? Have you got an extra person doing all that stuff? No, I don't. There's been times that I've had, the luxury of people going with me, but that's not very often. So what I'm doing when I'm out on the road and you see me running around, I'm using this same mount. I'm using my tripod, right? Let me get it a little closer for you. And I'm simply putting my mount in so that when I'm walking around, that's all I'm doing. I'm walking around with that mobile top sitting on a tripod. And if I want it to be really convenient, I actually put a base on it. Same way, it's another one of those newer products. I actually have a base that folds out. See how compact that thing is? Right? When I unfold this thing, boom, I now have a 3-legged trolley that I put the legs in. And they actually will screw in to just the feet of the tripod. And now I've got a completely mobile rig. So if I'm in a classroom or if I'm out on the go, all I got to do is have me a trolley, a tripod, and the mount, and I've got a fully usable studio. Okay? Now, it gets even better, right? Remember okay, 2 things. Microphone choices, if I'm using my wireless. The reason I said that I like that Movo is that Movo is connected to, and that's a double. So the reason it has the 2 ears here on it is that is actually 2 transmitters going to 1 receiver. I can have 2 of my wireless lapels. Really good quality. I've actually, a lot of these, I change them out and I use the Rode microphone to get an even higher quality out of it. But remember, this wasn't very expensive, 100 and some bucks for 2 of these and the receiver. And a lot of people go, what about those handhelds that you use? Okay. It's part of the same group. So in those Movo wireless, I actually have 2 handhelds. And with those handhelds, they operate on the same frequencies. So by having a 2-channel, there's 2 frequencies that's being used, right? And they're selectable. So you have channels. Think of them, they're going to be called channels. And so I have set a handheld and one of the wireless lapel on 1 channel. And I have the other handheld and the other lapel on the 2nd channel. So I can use either 2 wireless lapels or 2 handhelds or 1 of each. And I have all that flexibility. And when I'm out and about and I'm using my handhelds, same thing. I think this one was a newer also. A little clamp on microphone mount so that I can actually clamp this anywhere I want. I usually put them on a couple of the legs. And now I have got a place to hold my microphones while I'm moving it around. So when I'm out and about, I can have all of this stuff. I know it's kind of cool, isn't it? I'm glad you mentioned that. I can have all of this stuff on this one little rig, and I can do all that recording myself. So I can scoot around, I can record what I need, and when I want to look really cool, when I really want to make it look like it's a full production and I got a team with me, and it's not. The reason I went from my Apple to this Android, and now Apple's the same way, but a year or so ago when I went this was the best one at the time. The reason I went to, and this is the S20 Ultra and the Watch Ultra, right? Check this out. Okay, so we're on site. We've got our rig. We got our stuff set up. It's just me. I'm running solo. But I want to make sure that I'm in frame because I'm telling you, one of the worst things to do is to hit record, go do what you're doing, and come back and hit stop and find out that you were out of frame half the time. It's a horrible feeling. So look at this, right? And if you like smartwatches, this makes it an even better investment. Okay, ready? From my watch. Pull down. Oh, sorry. Pull up. Connect using Bluetooth. Look at that. I'm operating my camera, right? And look at this. Hold on. Let me get this other camera on. You gotta see this. This is just it amazes me that we've gotten to this point in technology, right? So while I'm adjusting my camera, which I'll move in the back, I'm watching it on my phone. So I can make sure that everything is in frame. And if I want to take just a photo, boom, I just captured a photo. If I want to do video, I go to video, and now I'm ready to do video. And so we're actually recording right now. I'm monitoring it on my phone, and you'll see I'm actually doing it on my phone. I'm watching it on my watch. Cut. Redo. I'm watching it on my phone, my watch. I'm watching it on my watch of what's happening on my phone. That's how excited I get about this stuff. It's that crazy. Like, look at that. See how they're both moving at the same time? So I can be in frame watching myself. So that's what I do. So when it looks like I've got somebody filming me, it is literally the camera facing me looking at myself and going, and go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show. We're recording live from, and that's how it works. And it really is that simple. I know, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, okay. That is, all right, Jesse, that brings up a good point. Since I'm using my smartphone, can I do the same thing and go live? And yes, that's actually what I do. Because remember, I can go live if I'm using something like Facebook Live, YouTube, or if I'm using a service like I do, like Restream, where I can use my phone, connect to Restream, and I can broadcast on all of our social media channels at the same time, as long as I've got signal. And all I'm doing is standing in front of my watch going, and go. And I can now broadcast live on multiple channels with a phone, a rig, and a microphone. That's it. And you can too. And that's why we wanted to show you how to do these things. It's really not that difficult once you experiment with it a little bit. And the technology has come so far that it's inexpensive. It's very, very convenient to work with. And if you don't want the size, like if you don't want to use the wireless and the handhelds, there's other amazing options. One of my next favorite, right? I'm a big fan of all the Rode stuff, microphones, all the audio stuff. So I'll also use my little bitty wireless Go. I can hook a separate mic into that if I want. It's rechargeable in its own base. And so I can actually clip on my wireless Go. And then I've got my little bitty mics that I can do interviews with. I can clip on, or I can run a separate mic. Now, these do cost a few $100, so you're going to invest a little bit more, but the convenience that you get out of it is amazing, because then all I need is just one little bitty cable from here directly into my phone, because this is USB-C. My phone's already USB-C. All I need is that little short USB cord to go between my phone and the back. So it really makes it super simple when you're creating your own content. And that's really it. There's one other one that I've been using here recently, and it does make a difference. And I do want to show that one real quick. All right, say that you see those shots where people are working on something and you're trying to figure out, wow, why is that? How is that stable? And their hands are moving. It's like it's in front of them, right? It is. $30, I think it was. Another newer, right? And so one of the reasons I like my magnetic case, a lot of people went to magnetic cases. I'm a big fan of them. The one that I use, my metal is actually my stand, okay? So when I'm working with a magnetic base, it connects right on. And so with these, they're super cool. And so what you can do with it is hit the release for the thing. You can release it two different ways. All right, I'm actually going to wear my phone. And let me readjust this down. Let's see if I can get this other. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna readjust this down so you can see it too. All right, so with this mount, I'm literally wearing it. Get it comfy. It folds out. It's got my little magnetic base on it already. And I now am stationary. Right? And if I want to use my same wireless, I just simply have to have a place to put it. That's where my little wireless Go's come in handy. So I can take my wireless Go if I want a wireless lapel, and I use a short cord and I set it right here, or I use a longer cord and I set it in my pocket. Run it over the back, put it in my pocket, and now I have my wireless microphone connected to my phone, and the audio is incredible. But most of the time, because this is so close, you actually don't even have to have the separate microphones. Just the microphone in your phone, when it's this close, is incredibly nice quality. So if I'm wanting to record from here, right, I can still see my screen perfectly fine. And there I go. And I can walk around doing my own recording with my hands, so I can work on something and record at the same time, right? And see how stationary that is? If I get used to not moving my body, I can use my hands all over the place and I don't lose that flexibility. And so that's it. That really is that cool, right? And then I'll take it and I'll save it and I'll do some editing. And editing, we've got enough time. I can go through some editing if you want to. Yeah, let me. I may have to switch over to the other computer. Okay, good question. So, Todd, what software am I using? I use two different ones. If I'm working on my PC, I used to use Power Director, which is what I use on my mobile device. I recently went to DaVinci Resolve. I like it. It works a little faster for me. Now that I'm getting better at it, it's easier. But I'll walk you through some of those editing. Actually, let me walk you through a mobile one while we're right here. And yeah, yes, I will, Jason. I'll show everyone how we can edit on the fly. Because a lot of them, like if I'm out on the go, if I'm at a conference and I'm actually recording my content and then I'm posting it like shortly after, everyone's like, "Man, how do you get that stuff edited so fast?" Well, I actually do it from my phone. So let's do that. I will walk you through a demo of how I edit from my phone. All right, so let's do this. I'll show you what I'm using here. All right. So I'm going to need an app to do this. I have been using this Power Director for quite a while. It's a really good editing software. It's not very expensive, and the mobile side's fantastic. So I'm going to use Power Director, and I'm going to start a new project. And I'm going to go ahead and use a couple videos that I've done here recently. Oh, this one's funny. You'll like this one. All right, so I'm gonna grab a couple of videos. I'm just gonna hit next. And now I have videos in my timeline. If you can see that. All right, I'm just gonna work it from here. So I've got videos. Actually, let me get rid of that one real quick. That one's got stuff in the background. All right, so I've got like that video, right? I've got that one. And then I've got, I make transitions to different videos. Well, I can put all of my edits right here in this. So like if I want to make a blur, I can hit my little splice and let's just say I want to do a fade. And now when I go from there to the next one, boom, got a nice little fade. I can do that for any of them. If I want to change the volume, like say that volume on that one was too high, it's literally a matter of hitting my volume, changing my volume. Let me see if I can adjust this, get a little bit cleaner. Zoomed in, so it's kind of snug. All right, here, I'll just set it down. So I can change my volume. I can add some background music. Let's say I can fade it in, and let's go backwards here. All right, and let's just say I want to add some music to this thing. Not that one. That's my audio tool. There we go. So say I want to add music as like an intro. I can go music. Let's just select some of them that I use for editing all the time. We'll just grab that one. We'll load that in. It'll take it just a second. It's the same function when we're doing this on a PC. Like the whole principle of doing the editing is the same. I'm literally just taking different pieces, pulling them together, doing a little bit of splicing. And actually, maybe I'll transition over to the other computer here in a second and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, that one's going to take a minute. While that's downloading, we'll show you some other stuff. All right, so I'm going to, maybe I want to add text to the thing, right? And I want to just add something in a different one, and I want to call this, hello, everybody, I'm going to add that in, and then maybe I want to move it. All right, maybe I want that thing to be somewhere else. And I'll just set that at the very top of it, or I want to shrink it, or whatever I want to do, right? And so if I get there, now I want to get that music added in. Hopefully it's loaded by now. Or let's see if there's already something. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab one that's already done, right? So I'm going to add that in. I can change the length of it that I want. And now I've got music, I've got text, I've got my video. It's that simple. Doing it on the fly. And so I'll put my pieces together. And then when I'm done, I'm simply going to export that thing and then determine what quality that I wanted. Do I want it in 1080? Do I want it in 4K? Most of the time when I'm doing social posts, I'm going to do those in 1080. And so when I'm ready, I'm just going to hit produce, and then it's going to put my pieces together, including my audio and my text. And I now have a video ready to post on social media. So the technology has made it so much easier for us to put together videos, create our own content. I said that one's done. It's ready to go. Got my intro music. It's got everything. I can go straight to YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, wherever I want to go with it. I can do it automatically, or I can go back home and it'll now be in my gallery for me, ready to go. And then I can share it any other way that I wanted to as well. Google heard me. Hey, Google, stop. So I know that was a quick run through of it, and the same editing it really functions the same way when we're on a PC. They're still talking to me. Quit. Hey, Google, stop. All right. So, any questions? I know there's probably going to be some more after this. I encourage you to just reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. Get you directed on how to get started, how to get some of your own content going. I encourage you to create your own content. This is it. This is how we do what we do. And so I think I'll take a minute. I'll head over to the other PC. I'll show you what I do on the regular console, and then we'll wrap it up. So, all right, I'll see y'all in just a minute. And then I'll see you next week on Did You Know? The ESCO HVAC show. All right, are we ready? All right, I'll show you a little bit of video editing. And so this is my office. So most of the time you see me in the studio downstairs. This is my actual office, and that is all of our podcasts. So all the red are cities where podcasts have been downloaded, and the blue ones, which are kind of hard to see, those are YouTube, mainly countries, because it's hard to track all the cities on YouTube. But yeah, all the little red dots are podcast. Okay, so let me show you. Let me share my other screen here. So I will grab that monitor. So I use DaVinci Resolve for most of my video editing, and I like it a lot. I used to use Power Director. It's a much less expensive software, but man, I sure like the way this operates. So, where to go again? I lost it. Yeah, there it is. All right, and that's full screen. Okay, so, all right, so yeah, you're seeing the whole screen. So what I do is I'll bring in my media. All right, so let's grab a couple of these podcasts that I did at AHR, and I'll show you how we'll add different ones together. And then, let's do some music too, because we'll want a little bit of music in the background. Let's grab corporate's one of my favorites. Let's grab a photo too, so we can put a photo over the top. Let's do that. Oh, that YouTube disclaimer. There we go. That's an easy one because I use this all the time when I'm editing. Okay, so what I'll do is let's go into this screen. Sometimes it's easier for me. Let's go ahead and grab, we're just going to drag down one. Now that one, the volume, I can't see it, and I like to see it. All right, so now I can. And the cool thing about most of this software is you can kind of change like where you're working. You can reshape things. You can, control how much space it takes. So I've got a pretty comfortable layout here. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. I'll go ahead and zoom out. And just to be able to show you easier on this, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out some of this. Um, so let's just say I want to go up to this part, and you can play it as you go. I'm going to stop it right here, and then I'm going to scissor it. So I'm going to go ahead and split that sucker, and then I want to get rid of this. And for me, I like using my clicker, so I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to cut that sucker out of there, right? And so there's a few things you can do, but let's just delete the selected things. I'm going to take the audio out also. So now I just got me a short clip. Not very long. And let's say I want another clip, and I'm gonna bring this one down, and I'm like, oh, but that's got an intro in it, so, and I like that better. So I'm just gonna move this one over, and I'll bring this one up front because I like that intro. And same way, I'm gonna chop it, and let's just say we chop it. Yeah, there's a funny one. And so I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna hit it again, and I had to hit both of them. And so I'm gonna take that out, and I'm going to take that out. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring these back together. Make sure I get them lined up. Oh, that went the wrong way. Oh, there we go. Okay. And so then I've got two pieces right next to each other, right? But it's going to be choppy. Boom to boom. And I don't want that. I'm going to grab me a transition, and I'm going to put me a transition. And depending on the type of video, a lot of times you can split it in the middle. This one's just going to want it to be right there. And I can change the length of that too. Like maybe I want that to take longer. And so by setting a transition, see how it kind of blended into it? That was really cool. All right. And so it gives us a very smooth transition. I can also fade it. This particular one, I can take these little arrows that are up here, and you'll see it'll actually fade the whole thing out. So I can have a fade out and a transition, but I usually just use a transition. And like a lot of times I'll have other intros that I would put in the front, or maybe I've got this disclaimer and I need to have my disclaimer. I'm going to put it on top of it. And reason being, I'm going to show you how to put something over the top. All right. So that one is in a new layer. So there's video 1 layer. This is going to be video 2 layer. And so in that video, I'm actually just going to shrink this sucker down. And maybe I'm going to just put it up here out of the way. Now, what happens though is it's already there. I don't want it there. I want that thing to fade in. So honestly, I only use a couple different transitions. Usually it's this fade, because watch this. And I can control the distance that I want that so it fades in, to match my audio. Or maybe I want a whole nother audio together. Like maybe I don't like that music at the intro. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this. I'm going to bring that volume down, and I'm going to put a new music in. And I'm going to put that, now that's going to be my audio too. And I want to see, ooh, that's loud. So I want to bring that way down, probably down in here. And I don't want the whole thing. I want it to end at the same place. So I'm just going to chop it again. I'm going to cut that out. And this has got the same way that we could fade the video, I can fade audio. So I'm going to fade audio out, and I'm going to fade audio in. Now I've got my video. I got me something laid over the top, and I got some new music, and hopefully it'll come together. Look at that. So I've made a whole new intro. I've added something over the top. I've cut some pieces out. And then if I want to go watch the way that that thing slides together from that other dissolve, boom, that's it. And that's what I do on most of the videos that you see from us. I try to keep it simple. I went with some better software over time. Power Director was really good for me for years, probably 5 years. And then I've recently went to this. But most of them, like when you're done, like I know it's going to go on YouTube. So I'm going to have it formatted for YouTube for me, and I'm just going to call this, Demo 1, and wherever I want to save it, let's go ahead and save it in videos. And I'm going to add that in and render it. And so now it's just taking everything that I put together, and it's cleaning it all up, putting it into one chunk, one finished video, and it's saving it for me. And so I know it might feel daunting. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you do it a few times, you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and save or close this. I don't need to save it a second time. And then if I go back into my files, my video files, it's right there waiting for me. So that's it. All right, you ready? Okay, so I'll head back downstairs and we'll wrap things up. See you in a sec. So what do you think? That wasn't too bad, was it? All right, well, I really appreciate you hanging in with us. I hope you learned a lot. And if you put something together and any of these things helped, tag me. I want to know. I want you to share with me your growth, your experience. Remember, we're here for you to help you become more successful in communicating this amazing industry to everyone around us. And we want to provide you with the tools to be successful. So let us know if there's anything else that you need. And I'm so glad to have you here. And we'll see you again. And hopefully in a few weeks, we'll see you in the new studio. Everybody have a great week. And we'll see you next week on Did You Know? The ESCO HVAC Show. Bye, everybody.